This is Steve Bright. Welcome to Celtic Hearing 101, Hearing and Aid Maintenance. Give you an idea of what's going on here. We're looking at basic maintenance on a RIC or receiver and canal unit. That'll give you some easy to use tips for keeping it clean, changing the wax trap, making sure everything's alright and checking how it's working. So what I'm going to do is pop you on top of the lens that I've got above the table here. So you've got a good view of the actual layout of the work area. You'll notice that it's a clean space and with a high contrast mat underneath that we can see all the parts quite clearly. Okay, what you can see in front of you, you've got the RIC unit here. Happens to be a Unitron Moxi, which is a Moxi 2 KISS, which is one of the latest aids that we fit. You've got a couple of options here. There's no battery in the aid at the minute, so we're going to pop one of those in. Clean side up, try not to touch the contact on the outer face if you can. Drop him in the battery drawer like that. Push him into place. Turn the aid on. The easiest way to check an aid, whether it's working, whether it's functioning, is to curl it up like that. And this one's making like a chiming sound. All sounds good from that. But let's assume it's not a functioning aid, just for the benefit of our little demonstration here. So I'm just going to unclip the battery again and pop that out. You can use any of the tools you get supplied to knock the battery out. The little wire on the back of the brush is quite handy for that as well. That puts the battery aside for now. Now what we're dealing with now is the classic example. This is a Sonova dome which has got this piece on the end that you can slide the tip of the wax brush through just to keep it clear. Basic daily maintenance, something like this. Just give that done every day just to make sure you don't get a buildup of wax heading down into what we call the receiver unit, which is this little unit here. Okay, keep that nice and clear. Give them a test every night, and basically that's your daily maintenance covered. If, however, you've got a buildup of wax on there and you notice the sounds dropping, and when you do the little grab test that we've just done there, you don't get a sufficient signal out of the aid, or we'll need to take things a stage further. This time what we're going to do is we're going to remove the actual dome that sits on the end of here. So it's a pull-off, simple fitting. Keep them in the box there so we don't lose him. And then you've got what's called a wax trap. Now that little white portion on the end of there is a typical cerustop wax trap. It's widely used across the industry now. I believe it's out of patent, but by and large it sits there. What that's doing is preventing the wax heading down into the components inside the receiver down there. So it's basically just a blocker. It's a sort of top hat shape, and they come in kits like this for replacement. Double-ended stick here. This end has got a barb on it to stop the actual, to remove the previous one, and then the new replacements on the other end. Pick that up like so. Drop that barbed end into the old one until it engages, and then pull it out. Turn the stick over, push the new end in like that, and you've got the replacement there. Throw that one in the bin, and then you can check it again. It's probably worth checking this device again with the battery in before you stick the cap back on. The reason for this is that if once it's started up, we'll give it a couple of seconds to get going again. So you should squeeze it in your hand, and what you're listening for is that chirpy chimey sound. If you're hearing the nice chirpy chimey sound, you know you're there. If you place this one back on beforehand, if you've got any wax residue in that tip, you might be blocking and putting it back straight on the end of there, and you might block the new filter straight away. Before you put this one back on, if you suspect there's any wax down there, use the wax loop, which is on the silver under the tool here. These are given away free by us with all the aids. If you want some more spares, come in, drop into the shop, and we'll give you some. Give that a nice clean round, slide it around in there, and then knock any wax off so you don't get any build up inside the dome. If the dome has been destroyed by pulling it apart, don't worry, call in. They're a couple of pence, they're not much. We can get you sorted with some new ones, and then pop that back on there. That's your fully functioning RIC, all ready to go back in your ear. Should be good for a few weeks with a completely clear wax filter. Some people leave the wax filters in longer and let them build up, and then they get trouble with the performance of the aid. To be honest, it's it's your call on that. If you think you can, if you think they need to come out, if you notice any drop in performance of the aids, especially when you've got a bit of moisture flying around there, it does help if you keep that wax trap nice and clear. If you do penetrate or get down the inside of the device, what will happen is you will destroy the receiver unit, especially if the wax is wet. And they're out of warranty. They're about £40 a go. So it's worth changing those wax traps fairly regularly in order to stay on top of that. That's basically it. 101 receiver care and keeping your RIC in top condition. If the only other thing to mention is that if you do notice any build up around the microphone entrance ports, which happen to be just by the battery drawer here and on the top of the case, give that a quick brush over as well. Not using any solvents or anything at this time, just simply to remove any dead skin or wax that's built up on the device. If you think of anything else and we should include on the videos, please let me know. I'm Steve Bright with Celtic Hearing in Carmarthen and Swansea, and I'm signing out for now. Thanks. Bye.